So the other day I made a bundt cake with white cake mix and peaches. I had diced up some peaches, had some spiced ones from the store, and I cut some up and mashed them and mixed them with cake batter. And today I am attempting, with no recipe and just some ideas, I'm going to try to make a glaze out of some of the remaining peaches here. So I'm slicing these up really thin, and then I'm just going to kind of dice them as small as I can, because, you know, and I don't really have a masher. I just work with what I got. So let's see how this turns out. Just dicing. I know this is not the correct knife, but it's the one I grabbed, so it's okay. And I have a potato masher, but it's bent. So I've been using my scoopy spoon, and it works pretty good actually. Just I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing here. So I just mush and mush and mush and mush and mush. Kind of make it into a little puree. Yay, puree. So I'm going to do this for a second. So hang on. And this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to take it and scrape that into my pan here. And again, like I said, I'm not using a recipe. I'm just winging this, which is my favorite way to cook. So this is how much it made with 2 of the sliced halves. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more just to make sure that I have enough to cover that cake when I pull it out of the pan. So yes, I lick my fingers and keep cooking, because you know that's how you cook with love. You lick the spoon and you just keep using it. Misusing. Okay, so I'm kind of going a little bit faster on these ones, so but it's all in the mash. So here we go again. Chop, 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 as small as you can. I want some chunks of peaches in there, in this glaze, or whatever you want to call it. However, I don't want them to be super big, but I want you to be able to bite in and be like, ooh, that's peachy. Peachy keen jelly bean. So I cut that one a little bit faster than the first one. And why I'm keeping my fingers back, because I know me. And then we'll go ahead and mash these. And again, it doesn't have to be like totally liquefied. You want some texture in it. So here we go. And actually this spoon works really freaking well. And I'm going to use it to stir, so it's not like I'm dirtying a utensil for no reason. So again, this is what it looks like. Go ahead and scrape that in there too. Let's see how much that gives us. I'm going to keep some of these, you know, for garnishing. So now I'm going to get some of this juice out of the jar. And again, these are spiced peaches, so there's like, you know, some cinnamon and whatnot. Let's see. These are Amish Wedding brand, and they're really super good. It just says peaches, sugar, water, and spices. So when you smell them and taste them, you can smell a little bit of clove. You can smell some cinnamon. Can't really taste it a whole lot, but I like the taste of the peach, so that doesn't bother me. So I now have this going on. Can we see? No, we cannot see. There we go. So that's what it looks like right now. And again, it's a bundt cake, so it's not like I have to really ice it. I just want a nice glaze on it. So let's get rid of this. Keep my fork because I'm going to use that again. Rinse the sticky off my hands. Now, I am going to add some honey. This is local honey from Colonial Hive Honey in Ashville, Ohio, which is close to where I live. So this is pure raw local spring honey, and it is unfiltered, unprocessed, and unheated, and it's really good. So I'm going to add some honey. Mix that in. Scoot that out of the way. And then tasting it, I think, is going to be the most important thing. And excuse my nasty pan. It's just messed up. So I'm not prepared. So maybe a little bit more honey. A little bit more juice. And then there's still some big chunks in here. So there we go. So this is looking kind of like, it almost looks like marmalade. If you know what marmalade is, it's really good stuff. But yeah. So there's that. So hang on a second, I gotta get some stuff ready. So now I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of cornstarch. Just to see how that turns out, because every glaze that I've looked up, they've added cornstarch for thickening. Because it's glaze, you want it to be kind of thick. So here we go. It's clumping, but I'm going to heat this up. So I'm going to boil it. It's almost going to be like a compote, but look at that. That looks great. That looks like something you want to put in your mouth, right? Anywho, so let me get another board here so I can put my spoon on it. And then I have some lemon extract, or I'm sorry, pure lemon extract here. And I'm just going to put a bit of that in there. That was probably about a 1/4 teaspoon. I don't use measuring spoons a lot. Unless I'm following a recipe, but I'm winging this, so let's see what happens. So let's get that mixed in there. It's been pretty good. I think I need a better spoon to mix with. Let's switch to the wooden. All right. Because every witch needs a wooden spoon, right? Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to taste this again. The flavors. Oh, I could eat this. Anyway, I'm not going to. So I'm going to turn my stove on. I think I'm going to put it on low for now, just to bring it to a little simmer. And then we'll go from there. I lied about the temperature. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up kind of high because I want it to come to a really quick boil. And then I'm going to turn it down. Almost like blanching, but, you know, not. So, let's turn it on the big burner there. I love my stove. One of the burners, you can do either the little one or you can do the quick boil, which lights up the whole thing and it's a little bit more powerful. Which is really great when it comes to cooking pasta and stuff, because I hate waiting on water to boil. Anyway, I'm just rambling now, but hey, I'll be right back as soon as I get this together. So it's just coming to a boil, as you can see. Do a couple more stirs. Then I'm going to turn this down on low. Let it simmer for a couple minutes. And then I'm going to taste it again, see how that turns out. So it's not really thickening up like I wanted it to. So I'm going to go ahead and add another 1/4 teaspoon of cornstarch to see if I can get that texture I'm looking for. Stir that in. I don't want to use too much because I don't want a gravy. I just want a glaze. I want something that's kind of, you know, it's going to hold. It's not just going to run off of the Bundt cake. You want it to kind of stick. That way it's not all pulled at the bottom. You don't end up with soggy bottom bread. I mean, it's going to be a little soggy anyway, but you don't want it all to run off. You want it to cling to every piece of the cake as possible. So, let's stir this a little bit more. Maybe turn the heat up a skosh. Just a skosh. That's what happens when you live alone. You just like experiment. And I love cooking. I really love to cook. And I don't get to do a lot like this very often. If I make cakes, it's usually box mix. I mean, sometimes I'll make some homemade icing, but this is a first for me. Especially since I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm trying, and I think I need to mush a couple more little pieces of peach there. If you can see this consistency, like the chunks of peach. Oops, there's the size that, you know, kind of want it to be. Oh, cornstarch. Gotta get that in there. All right, let's do this some more. Starting to thick up a little bit, so it's kind of getting where I want it to be. And this isn't a lot. Like I could use more, I'm sure. But you know, I don't simmer with the lid on. I sit and watch the pot. Sometimes watch pots do boil. I don't care what my mama said. Just takes a little longer sometimes. So there's that. So hang on. Okay, I still want it a little thicker. So I'm actually going to taste it real quick. I know cornstarch doesn't have a taste, but sometimes it can affect the taste of things, in my opinion anyway. Don't hold me, that might not be a scientific fact, but I notice things like that because I'm weird. So let's taste this real quick. See where we're at. It's really hot. That's really good. I do think I'm going to add a squirt more of honey. Get that mixed in there. I don't think I'm going to need any more cornstarch. So that was a half a, what did I put in there? I put a 1/4, right? Is that what I said, a 1/4? Yep, 1/4 teaspoon. So I put 2 of those in. So I put in a half a teaspoon. Because I always start small and then I add more if I need it. If you add too much in the first place, you know, then you're just, it's a different mess. It's a different kind of mess that you got to clean. And sometimes it's hard to come back from that. It's not like if you over salt your soup and you can just throw a potato in there to soak it up. Can't do that with stuff like this. Because it's a process. So I'm going to let that go a couple more minutes. Okay, let's check this again. See what's going on? Oh, yeah, see? It's getting thicker. It's working. It's not as soup. It's still a little soupy. It's not as runny as it was. So that's a good thing. And I'm not a professional by any sense of the word. I love to cook. I probably own my body's weight in cookbooks. I like home cooked meals. I like to do the whole homemade, you know, everything. Homemade potatoes, meatloaf, beans, chicken and noodles. Oh, yeah, doesn't that sound good? Homemade chicken, not homemade chicken. I can't homemade a chicken. But homemade noodles and chicken, or dumplings. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So my stomach just start growling on that one. Okay, so now, since this is about the consistency that I really want it to be, see, it looks like pumpkin goo or something, but I'm going to be doing a pumpkin video too, but not on this. So, okay. I am now going to turn off my burner. And this is when I will put a lid on. Just so that kind of sets a little bit, I guess, is the term I want to use. So now, while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and get some more of these peaches sliced. I don't know where to put anything. I have no room. Alright, so. Gosh, so I'm probably going to end up eating one. I already know I am. But these are going to be the garnish. And I'm not quite sure. Sorry. How I want. I think I'm just going to do slices. So, half, you know, here's what it looks like. It's about yay big, about, you know, about ½ inch. Told you I was going to eat one. Can't help it. Because I'm moving to the country, gonna eat me a bunch of peaches. Peaches do not come in a can. They are not made by man. Great song, but the presidents of America are not factual in that song. But I still jam to it, though. I didn't even know that was a song. There's another one. That was a little piece of. I never even heard that song until I met my late husband. Rest his soul. So I've cut 3 halves. And I think that's going to be okay. That's going to be probably enough. Yeah. I'll just put this back over here because I'm probably not done with it. So, 3 halves sliced about ½ inch thick. Yield about, I don't know, ½ cup. I don't measure. I just look at it and, okay, yeah, it looks like it's enough. So, I'm going to stir my little compote slash, oh yeah, look at that. Oh, you can't see it. And right here. See, it's thickening up. So, hopefully that will be enough glaze to ice this Bundt cake that I made in my 1970s Bundt pan. It works. I love the thrift store. I love the thrift. Pop some tags. So now I'm looking for a platter. Use from my wedding. So we'll use that. This cake smells so good. So just want to pop that bitch right on there. See, that's what it looks like. Always overdo it with the cooking spray. Always over, especially in Bundt pans. Always, and don't ever forget to grease this. Always do that. I just spray the hell out of it. I'm sorry, I meant heck. Out of it. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look how beautiful. Looks like a giant donut. Homer Simpson would be so happy right now. So, with the hands, and then we're going to let that cool. I'm going to go ahead and put the plastic back over this. I just wanted to make sure that I had a plate for it that was big enough. Add a little bit more of my Dollar General brand plastic wrap here. Still a couple of flies in here I haven't been able to get to yet, so just protecting my interests here. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to wait a couple minutes and let that set. See you in a minute. My mom always taught me, clean as you go. Say hi, Abby. Say hi, Abby. Yes, my hutch is a mess. I get it. And once again, I've changed my mind on how I want to do this. So I think actually I am going to make it like almost like a poke cake, even though it's not pudding or anything like that. And the cake is super moist. It's just beautiful. So impressed. So I'm just going to take this little bamboo pokey thing that you can buy anywhere. I'm going to make some holes in it. And I have a touch of OCD, so they all have to match up. So there we go. So I've made some holes in it. That way, when I pour the glaze, compote, whatever you want to call it, over top, it's also going to get in there. It won't make it soggy, hopefully. Knock on wood. But it'll get that flavor in there. I mean, I had cut up peaches and mashed them like I did for this and mixed them with cake batter before I baked it. So, and I used, the box called for 1 1/4 cup water. So I used, how did I do that? I used like a 1/2 cup of the juice from the peaches and then the rest water to make up that 1 1/4 cups. That way it's got that peach flavor in the cake too. It might be a little bit much, it might be a little bit rich, but hey, we're going to try it. So the glaze is just now about a little less than lukewarm. And look at this. Look at that consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start spooning this over. Make sure I put it on top of those holes so it can fall down in. And that's what I didn't want to happen, but that's okay. It's okay. We live and learn. We learn. We learn. But that's, like I said, that's okay. So, this looks really great. I love peaches. I wish I could grow them, but, you know, maybe at my next house. So that is all of the compote slash glaze slash peach sauce, whatever you want to call it. So there's that. That in the sink to rinse. And then just to give you, this is what it looks like. Again, like I said, it looks like a giant donut. Oh, don't like that. Scoop some of this out of here because remember what I said about my need for everything to, cornstarch. That's okay. At least it's edible. I don't know anybody that really wants to eat cornstarch, but there, that looks better. Better-ish. Anyway, this is with the glaze stuff on it. See how I told you I wanted all the little chunks to stick. I didn't want everything to fall. Like I did have some, you know, of course, that went down in the middle there. But see how it's kind of just clinging to that? It's not super thick, but it's not thin. So there's that. And I'm going to add the sliced peaches on top as garnish, and then I'll show you what the final product looks like. And there it is. I did add some ground cinnamon to the top, just a little bit, just to give it some, you know, flavor, more flavor than it has, which it's really flavorful. But we're going to do a taste test here in just a minute. And I can't wait. So here's me getting ready to cut a piece of this cake. And eat it, because this has been on my mind now for a minute. See? You can see the little pieces of peach in there. So now, here comes the real test. I do want to try the cake first to see. Came out the way I wanted. Oh, so good. Yeah. There's a piece with the peach. Ah! There was a piece with the peach. Try it again. There's a piece with peach and sauce on it. Oh my god. The only thing that would make this better is if I had some vanilla ice cream. This is really good. It's really moist, not too moist. The flavors just married great. I love it. And I'm definitely going to make this again. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.